Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. Be great to see some great picks. I think it'd be great to see play around that mid jungle combo that we had in the last game. They're really strong. They played through them very well. Last couple of games, jungle's got really far ahead and transitioned it perfectly across the map. And I'm really looking forward to seeing some pocket picks come out, some really strong picks. Seeing if we can get the Diana jungle, the Xin jungle, the really strong meta picks in there. Any picks you're looking to see? Yeah, maybe a cheeky Viego support. You never know nowadays. Um, Mars does play it. I challenged him to play it, and he did. I will like to say, I think he could if he wanted to, and it's a great pick. No matter you know what? If he just gets one kill, he just transforms into an ADC, and all of a sudden, then you don't need a support. You've got two ADCs. Power. Obviously I'm expecting the support really to be the Thresh, Alistair. Maybe a Leona, some heavy engage to go with this comp. Transitioning, yeah. Obviously, you're gonna see it's gonna be pick or ban Diana jungle surely at this point. Such a high priority pick across all lanes goes wonderful with AD mid laners such as Yasuo or Lucian, really strong. Uh, Top lane,
saying
oh,
top of the jungle.
we couldn't. No one could hear you.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Damn. Let's go back to where it was. Oh no, we're talking about picks and everything's been taken over. Yeah. What were you saying? Oh,
Oh, right.
okay.
Hello. Um,
Can hear you now.
Safe one. All right. Nothing really too valuable in this. Most of what I say would probably be better off if people didn't hear it anyway. Yeah. So I assume they're still hearing what you were talking about in terms of jungle.
Yeah.
Um, I was just quickly mentioning that last week, sadly, Team Yard were unable to overcome Team Rocket, going 0-2. We did have a bit of issue with draft. It seems like we're having a little bit of issue getting into draft here, so I wouldn't sweat it too much. I'll see what's going on in a second. But yeah, so this week coming in, we're playing against 752 Academy. The Academy team here. It's basically, we're kind of in contention since we lost to Rocket for second. There's a chance we can still come first if 752 are able to overcome Rocket, and as long as we win here. We kind of get this three-way tie for the top. So yeah, getting at least second is probably really strong for playoffs. I think we still make playoffs if we're third. We just have to play an additional series to get in. Um, so yeah, hopefully here with Yar, we can get there. And draft is the way you're talking about doing it. You mentioned top was the next place your eyes were looking.
Yeah, I'm just wondering to see what sort of pocket pick, like power picks we're going to see. Maybe the Gwen, maybe the Diego. Um, Really strong picks. Camille at the moment, I've been seeing a lot of, and I believe that their top laner plays Kled. Yeah, Kled
Yeah,
and Camille. So maybe hoping to see those. Obviously, Na is pretty used across the board in competitive play. We're not expecting the cleanest and most precise draft here. This is a platinum tournament at the end of the day, but we're hoping to see some of those more desirable picks that we'd see in pro play.
yeah, for sure. I might have to dig up some of the spell names for Kled. It's one of those bit of niche picks, but of course, when you do play against or see a very good Kled, it becomes quite hard to deal with quite quickly, especially within a team comp where you're relying on that engage, nice and simple, charge on in, nice, unstoppable, and really it can punish enemy teams that aren't prepared for it really hard because there's going to be a bit of discoordination into setting up your front line and back line properly, especially if Kled's coming in on offline.
Yeah, and especially when you have most supports nowadays will rush that Shirelias, so you got the Shirelias on top of that, and imagine if you have a Sivir as well. Sivir quite a big
Yeah,
pick at the moment with the lethality and on hit builds. You have the ability to go either depending on team comp. I'm really expecting to see just the Shirelli is used to pick people off. You know, anyone moves out of position, you get the Shirelli straight in, counters them, and it's a really hard thing to look out for. And hopefully, we'll see many things today.
Yeah, hopefully many things. A Yar win being one of them, of course. Definitely not Baz casting here.
Hopefully.
So
I hope for them that they get it done in 2 games, but I hope for us they get it done in 3.
I just want to quickly check if you're in the lobby.
Yes, I am.
So yeah. Looks like draft is not too far off starting. So we were talking about maybe some of the picks we're seeing. Maybe then we can start adding some projections in as to who's going to be picking what and banning what in that kind of order. Maybe for the first phase, maybe what kind of bans we're expecting. We mentioned already things like the Vego Gwen, maybe some of these comfort picks like Camilla Kled. I did notice the support has a high amount of comfort on the hook champions like Nautilus, Blitz, Pike, Thresh especially. Thresh, of course, being a super high priority champion like the Vego. So what is it you're kind of expecting, at least for the bands, to shape up?
Well, I'm expecting all supports to be playing those hook champions. Okay, let's be fair; they're the most fun champs. The other ones, I have to press and click on someone as Alistair, and it's just no skill. Yeah, nah, not my vibe. I'm a Thresh Pike, you know, the skill player. Um, but yeah, I'm expecting to see some contention over the Thresh pick, maybe the Nautilus pick. Obviously, the big three engage Leona, Nautilus, Thresh, always getting juggled between everyone.
Yeah.
I'm expecting to see some contested ADC picks. I know Yar's been practicing with a Callista that really helps the supports when they. If you're playing Thresh Callista, if the Thresh is overstepping, when he goes for a hook, he's locked in place. So if he gets caught out, it's just a free easy ult to get him out, save 300 gold. You know.
Yeah.
Secondly, great engage as well. You know, you've got the knock up straight into it. I believe we're getting into draft now. I shall transition us in. Oh, look at the skill. Look at the production value here. Okay, getting into the banning phase here.
All right. First thing off the cards is the Silas. Going to be having a look. Worthy of note here that 752 Academy did choose to play on red side first. They had side selection for game 1. I'll be curious to see, maybe keep an eye on how what teams choose what side and maybe what force. And maybe that's something we can expect for draft. Maybe they're looking for counter pick and top side, counter pick give mid, something like this. Of course, red side giving you last pick. So we'll have to see whether that's something they'll stick to if they lose, if it's a key point of their strategy. Zinzal taken away, Vegas taken away as well, so I go for it.
Yeah, there's been taken away. That's just to me that they're looking to play the Diana side of that matchup. Quite a big side. Diana quite hard to counter at the moment. Takes a lot of CC, and then even when you CC her ult will still go off. Nice ban of the Diana just to counter that. Means they won't have these power picks in the jungle. Maybe we'll see some more interesting picks. Not too sure what Yar plays in the jungle too much. I think we've mainly seen those champions.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Nautilus gone, very strong pick in the bot lane, and the Volibear. So far, 4 junglers taken off, a mid laner taken off, and you know, is jungle the most OP role in the game? Yes, it is. Yes. Yes. Anyone moaning in chat? Yes, it is. The Seraphine picked up. This seems to be a flex. I believe Harry plays this a lot for the team. Very good support, being able to poke heavily in lane, push and roam, as well as being able to offer that late game scaling. That just means that your ADC will never be able to be touched in the team fights.
Yeah, it's very much like the Karma we've been seeing. If people caught our stream with Bastard Esports as well, there was a high priority on Karma. There was a bit of presence for Seraphine as well. I think Karma was a little bit more favored though. But of course, Seraphine brings a very similar kind of team fighting prowess, just being able to hit the W, get that AoE shields. For anyone playing Pokemon Unite, it's a bit of a Glossifer, and that thing got nerfed pretty hard. Its healing and shielding got halved pretty much. So yeah, Seraphine and champions of the same ilk, of course, very potent. Ziggs is not maybe something I'd expected to see at this level, but it's definitely been popular across all levels.
Yeah, Ziggs is great. Being able to flex between mid and bot, being able to just press E on the wave and it delete. Really easy to match the Seraphine, as well as the Trundle that is a slight flex. I've been seeing a lot of Trundle support recently. Really works well into Aftershock supports because you can just take him to negative armor, negative MR with the ulti, as well as the pillar being so game changing as well. Looking forward to seeing how well the Ziggs pick is used, because Ziggs nowadays, like whenever I play with the Ziggs, you have some ups and downs. For every good Ziggs player, there's 10 bad ones. ADCs aren't used to pressing abilities; they're used to just clicking on people. So
Yeah.
it'd be interesting to see how that is. Leona traded back, so we now know that Seraphine's definitely mid. Leona hard engage, should be okay into the Ziggs. Is a bit hard. If he puts the E down, Leona will have to go through it just to take the damage. But overall, I think it's a good pickup here. Very good team fighting comp, especially with the Kindred as well. Aurelia.
No. Yeah, I was going to say I'd be surprised if they took one of their solo lane picks here. Considering they have counter pick available as well, maybe they would like to pick up the Thresh before it's banned. It's a fairly good answer into Leona. It's pretty. Well, I say it's a pretty good option. It's a pretty good option for everything in the bot lane, to be honest. Just a bit of peel and a bit of priority, a bit of hook, a bit of
Yeah,
catch out for Ziggs. So yeah, maybe the Thresh is going to be taken away here since you're already taking Leona. A bit more reliable engage than the Thresh, so you can kind of see why you take it here,
yeah.
and then ban the Thresh.
I'd definitely take away the Thresh here. I know that the Leona Thresh matchup has changed slightly because of the cooldown reduction on
Mm,
Thresh's fillet. However, Thresh Ziggs is a very strong lane. With the ability just to fillet people through Ziggs' E, really helps the damage. As well as then, Ziggs obviously being able to just W them away and all the rest of it. It means that Thresh just gets to save the Ziggs and then be able to engage for him. Uh,
yeah.
Karma Pantheon. I'd be interested to see where the Pantheon was thinking about going. I think that would have been Pantheon mid, because I'm going to assume that Trundle's jungle just for now, because I'm not expecting that at this level.
Mm,
Tristana ban goes well with Leona. Tristana being able to force that engage all the time. I'm expecting the Callista based off the practice I've seen, as well as giving the Leona a way out, because Leona normally one-way ticket. You press the E and you're in there. You're in the mixer. You have to choose what you're going to do then, and uh, yeah, the Callista gives him a way out, gives him an extra knock up, and hopefully we'll get a heavy AP threat on Yai as well. Because I know the Seraphine is decent, but at the
mhm.
moment, at late game, she's going to be wanting to spam those empowered Ws instead of the damage.
Yeah, it's most likely a Moonstone Seraphine, no matter which lane it ends up in. I kind of like the Tristana ban as well, quickly to note, simply because it holds Yar's flexibility because they continue to swap Seraphine and Tristana around the draft even after all picks are locked in. So great respect there, saving 7-5-2 themselves a little bit of difficulty. Alistair taken away instead of the Thresh. It seems that maybe Set will end up there as well. Still a slight flex. You see him in the bot lane every now and again. Nah, is one of the picks you mentioned off camera before the stream. It's one of those kind of more general picks that tends to be good no matter. Camille maybe has a few more answers, but Nah is one of those ones that just has range. It just tends to bully most things in that top lane, so it wouldn't be surprising to see it here.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm with the set locked in. Set can go at the moment is being played in pretty much every role except from AD. I've seen set jungle played a lot recently, so maybe that is set jungle Trundle top, and uh, yeah, I think that might be it. Or it could be set top just normally. Either way, I think Nah beats both of them. Range into melee,
mm,
normally pretty good. And if you're into the Trundle, he's putting down a pillar, which makes it easier for you to hit an ult, surely. The Braum, however, I like this. Braum is a counter to heavy engage. This could work really well against the Leona. The Malphite. Ooh,
okay, that is mighty curious. So yeah, all the picks are locked in here. Still maybe some confusion as to where 752 are going to put all of their pieces.
I'm
I assume
thinking.
they swapped over to Malphite because they were concerned about their damage profile distribution, having only the one AP option in Ziggs. Malphite, if he goes full tank, is not going to be bringing so much, but
I think he
I
will
wouldn't
go
put
full
it
tank.
against them. You
Think,
think
think,
he will go full tank?
think about the damage threats that are AP. You've only got the Seraphine. The Seraphine's
Yeah.
gonna have to prioritize going Ludens instead of Moonstone here, just to be able to offer something in these team fights. You've drafted two big AD carries, but you've then drafted yourself into pretty much a full AD comp with just an enchanter in the mid lane. The Malphite pick here is perfectly timed. I think set support, yes, it'll be maybe somewhat harder to get through the laner phase, but at the end of the day, you're with the Ziggs. You're not there to fight. You're there to just push the wave and move on. And you got the Malphite then just late game. How is the Kindred going to burst through that? It's going to be an early low doms rush just to be able to burst through half his HP.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely got a lot of triple threat as well. Both comps running kind of on hit attack is well, Aurelia set, Trundle, of course, AA heavy, Jinx, Kindred, not AA heavy, so full mills maybe bought in every role. uh, an odd one to see. So compositionally, both of these teams don't really seem to be wanting to do too much early. There's definitely potential for something to happen in the spot lane. I feel like two hard engaged supports, as we've been talking about, definitely two hyper carries, a lot of kind of essential uh, gold, I suspect they want to put into these bot lanes because they're probably the most likely to be able to shred the enemy teams. So maybe a bit of expectation for explosiveness in the bot lane, but it's not something we can guarantee seeing. But actually, the jungle is something I feel like you see no matter what level of League of Legends we're playing. So maybe we can talk about the jungle a bit whilst we have these minutes loading into the game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you've got the Kindred Trundle matchup. Kindred is as much as there's so much skill in League of Legends. Kindred, half of its skill is luck based, right? You're looking to get the marks in the right places to be able to get them. If you go to top side to do the scuttle and it spawns bot side, all of a sudden you've lost one of your max, and that is completely luck based. There is a few people in China and Korea who've talked about how to force it, but I'm not expecting this at the CLA. I'm expecting somewhat luck. Hopefully, it does flip the way of Team Yar, but I'm not too sure. I'm expecting, you got the Jinx Leona matchup bot lane. Hopefully, they can run over the set Ziggs. I'm thinking that both sides, lots of wave clear. I think it's going to be whoever gets the first gank will win that matchup, unless one of them oversteps heavily. The problem with the mid lane, obviously, the Aurelia, heavy and heavily annoying champion, going in non-stop, jumping between it, hard to hit the skill shots, and Seraphine, 3 out of 4 abilities skill shot based. Though some people say, "Oh, not really skill shot if you can hit across the map."
Yeah.
But yeah, if she lands one stun on the Seraphine, I think it's sort of worrisome. Maybe the Seraphine might go exhaust, but I assume it'll be a TP in the mid lane.
You would expect it.
I mean, talking about sums, it'd be interesting to see if the Ziggs goes the TP to be able to get that cheetah recall. Lots of people talking about the futures market reset on mages. If you go futures market, you can catch the first 3 waves, reset, teleport back. All of a sudden, you're at Lost Chapter. As long as you hit decent CS numbers, you should be able to hit Lost Chapter every time. You start off with the Sapphire Crystal, and you come back with the Lost Chapter, which is a massive power spike for you in the bot lane.
Yeah, especially for Ziggs. His most reason for it being picked at the moment is the fact that you can just kind of perma shove. And of course, he's been somewhat gated for mana. He got nerfed for 6 mana a couple of patches ago. Being able to get that Lost Chapter early means you can just start pushing this wave and start, hitting the tower, hitting the champions without any of this care with the additional cooldown, with the AP and the additional mana that you're now ahead of your opponent. That early power spike, as you're saying, is big power spike in itself. Getting even earlier is even more important, and then you can even harder run away and snowball with that.
I don't know about you, but I'm still in the draft screen. Has yours loaded up?
Mine has begun loading, yeah.
Okay, I'm having some technical problems by the looks of it. I shall throw us back to duocam whilst I work it out.
So, stage is set. Team Yar. Both of these teams are 3-0 or 3-1. I think 7-5-2 are currently at. They may have had a bye. I probably should have written down their score, but they're definitely contesting for second, third, and first, along with Team Yar in the 17. One of the teams has sadly had to forfeit. I think it's due to some of their player health. So yeah, 6 teams in this round robin, best of 3s all the way around. Team Yar only have dropped 1 game so far. Very key game, I think, for the rest of the season for pretty much most teams in the Valanth split. Looking at this one, had some good reviews for Yar. So hopefully, after falling a little short against Team Rocket last week, we can see a little bit more out of them today, more like we saw 2 weeks ago, getting pentakills on the Zenzel jungle against Garen Academy. Hopefully, this will be a bit more of a telling or showing opponent. Garen sitting at the bottom of the lineup in Valanth. Not too surprising that we absolutely stomped them. Sorry, guys, but if you're playing Garen mid and you telegraph it with your name, maybe it's not too much a surprise that you get absolutely demolished. 7-5-2. Maybe their KDAs, we'll have to keep an eye if we get a 7-5-2 in KD. But I don't think they're giving away too much with their name at Garen. So if we get more contentious game. How are we doing reloading now?
I believe it's all set up. I'm just double checking everything. Yes, and there we go. I believe it's working. Sorry, guys. It's a bit scuffed, but we're in. We're in.
Anyway, currently a little stuck at 0% myself, it seems.
Yeah, I think there might have been a problem. Maybe there was a pause or something early on, and
Oh, perhaps, yeah.
I'll just
Oh, okay, right. I'm in.
try and hide the chat for just in case we see any flame.
Can't be too careful.
Yep.
It is League of Legends after all, we all know. Oh, there is a good luck, have fun.
Well,
Maybe not
I'll,
too toxic to date, it seems.
can I disable? Oh no, I can't disable chat in this. Shame. Anyone playing solo queue, learn disable chat. Very important. Phase rush on the set. Something I just noticed. Very good
If
engage.
you hit I, you should be able to disable chat. It's on the options.
It is disabled, but it still shows it.
Oh, okay.
What a great client.
Good old League client. Indie company, by the way. But we are on the Rift nonetheless for Week 5, Yarp versus 752 Academy. You're now listening to the voices and no longer seeing the faces of Brett Britannia's and Gizmo, Gizmo, Gizmo.
Yep, 3 times. G.
It's so nice you say it thrice.
It's just a normal start here across the board. We're seeing the Kindred start on our red. I assume the Trundle's going to make his way to his red. By the looks of it, he's going to be solo in it. That's fine for the Trundle. He does get his HP back when he kills something, so it doesn't affect his burst. Leona tanking here seems a bit interesting to me. That sort of telegraphs exactly where you are. There's no point the Gnar fake leashing up there. So I think that's a slight mistake there. Aurelia straight onto this. This is something we're going to see a lot during this lane phase.
Aurelia being super powerful and potent at the moment. I've even seen a couple of the AP Aurelias running around with Night Harvester, just making use of that cooldown and just the absurd amount of W damage. W has been nerfed a bit. But yeah, it's still just a couple of Qs in, getting the auto trades into Seraphine. Seraphine hasn't really got an answer to any of this.
Nice stun.
Set, handing the face breaker there. Pulls in the Jinx, gets a little bit of damage on the back with Ziggs.
Yeah, you've got to,
just kind of standard stuff.
You got to remember, this is a set with phase rush here. If you do stun him without his W, he is useless here. You can burst him very fast. Interesting to note that the Jinx has gone the exhaust here. Not too sure why early on. Late game I can understand it for the Aurelia, but early on you're not going to need to exhaust the Ziggs. You're probably never going to be in range.
Yeah, perhaps instead we'll put it onto set. Set, of course, not really lacking damage. It's always been
nice engage here.
Potent, but here's his Zenith Blade onto Ziggs, locks him up with the Flame Chompers into second, but the Haymaker, sorry, the Facebreaker connects to Leona. Well, the Facebreaker does too, onto two. Yeah, a bit of a trade into top side as well with a Wallop.
Trundle coming behind here. This looks like there's going to be a fight in the bot side.
Kindred's
already
party
in the bot lane. Leona misses.
Pillar, keep your eyes out for that Pillar. Leona already ignited. Pillar locks up Leona and pulled in with the Facebreaker, having to flash away here from set. Flash followed. TP coming in now as well. Kindred gets the auto in first. Blood there onto Ziggs. Caught out Leona, just about surviving. Gets the chomp in the end, and in the back of the Knight since the Gnar arrived. Set just going to have to stroll this one out with his passive. Yeah, Malphite gets a free time in top lane, but that's a 2-for-1 trade overall.
Yeah, but the wave top lane hasn't crashed. I will say, well played by the Leona. Was able to stun going in, and then waste so much time with the Trundle, just being able to try and chase for that kill. Really able to buy that time, and I guess I was wrong about the exhaust, because the exhaust and the Ziggs really stopped him from being able to run away to the tower, so what do I know? What do I know at this point? Bot lane's stuck in a bit of a freeze here. This is going to be really hard to pressure off, especially when you think the set's going to...
X-Flash coming in. Good flash there, respecting 2v1. Leona not really in time to save you if you get caught up there, especially if Ziggs has the satchel charge to knock you back in. So
but the sec can just rinse and repeat that every time you walk up to the lane. Yeah. Especially if they maintain this freeze. I think they might just mess it up. Oh, thank God the Ziggs waves bounce back. That could have been scary.
Yeah, indeed. This wave crashing into top lane could be a little scary if Trundle sticks around the top side, but double buffs on Gnar, so Gnar's quite happy just holding this wave here. Catching back up in CS since TP into bot side. Of course, Malphite has TP available as well, so it's almost on 752's side to make the next play happen. Similar advantage.
He's going for it.
This is not a level down. Procs the hyper. Procs press the attack, and
but the minions normalize it. The red buff. The minions might normalize it. Luckily, due to the red buff, he should be able to heal up over time, but. I wonder if the Malphite's just going to respect it and go for the back.
He's going to tick Corrupting Potion instead, yep. Going to just kind of absorb a little bit of time in this bot lane as well as some of the XP that he can. He's going to back now regardless. So now goes Mega, Aurelia, just continuing to queue the wave. Aurelia does Aurelia things, snippy, snappy, snoppity. These creeps are my property.
as you can see now, the mid lane's a slight farm difference starting to appear just with the pressure as well. They really have always been able to threaten just getting on top of this Seraphine. Jeez, not Samira.
Yeah, Seraphine's hips don't quite shake like Samira's. Instead, I don't know what it's instead of. Trundle making his way onto the mark just to try and deny Kindred some of these.
Yeah, it's gonna be that's gonna be the story of the game, honestly. If this Kindred can get the marks, it's gonna be fine for late game. But early on, that lower attack range is just painful.
I don't know who Kindred marked to begin with. Maybe it's worth checking just a second to see how many she's on. It seems bot lane was invested now to try and get this mark, but they'll find Trundle has already had it. Kindred has already completed one hunt. I believe she picked up one kill and an assist in the bot lane, so I assume the Ziggs or the set must have been marked. Oh, no, sorry, not the set, the Trundle perhaps.
I think so. It might also just been one of the Skull Crabs, I'm not too sure.
Oh, yes, of course, as well. We will get the Drake Cloud on the board, so at least it's not going to be a Cloud Soul. I feel like I've seen and played with too many of those recently. It's been a little bit dull.
Yeah.
I suppose it beats losing to an Ocean Drake, because that just feels horrible.
The engage in mid lane. Oh, brilliant flash there. Just
flash with the high note coming in on the backside. So going to be locked up.
Aurelia going in.
Having to flash away from Aurelia. Aurelia doing Aurelia things, but she finds herself underneath the tower, and the pill is going to knock back Kindred away from the haymaker there. So a bit of a reactive play in a 2 versus 3 does win out in the end for ER.
Just disrespect there. You know that there hasn't been a W used by the Seraphine there. And everyone knows how much that thing shields. It might as well just put you to 100% HP at this point. So go for the dive there. I think they saw red and decided to go in, but has to regret it in the end.
Yeah, just a little too deep, a little too greedy, like the dwarves here. Just making his way through mid lane, trying to get some pressure. Kindred snaps up, I believe, another mark with that Skull Crab in the top lane. Maybe looking to get her eyes and teeth and wolf into the top lane, as the camera seems to be focusing here already. Just going to get this wave shoved, give now a good back timing since he hasn't really yet had the opportunity to spend much gold since TPing into bot lane.
Yeah, I think that's more going. Oh, as we're going for, we're going to see a fight here. A great stun.
2 stun of the Flawless Duet there. Just make sure that nothing cheeky is going to happen in mid lane as Leona roams up. Making good use of the time in bot lane. Being pushed in. Finds his end plate here. A little bit of a miscommunication there, as Draven would say.
Got no flash.
Shadow going to find the killer, knocking back. No flash, drops the ignite, but Seraphine isn't going to be able to save you here, nor kill someone here either. So a little bit ambitious, let's say.
The communication problems must be shining through there. I think Leona just thought, well, how are they able to step up to me like this? I have to put him in his place, and all of a sudden then a Trundle just goes, nope, let me just pillar you and stop you from being able to get out.
I don't care if you have 3 levels on me. I do not like Aurelia. I hate that champion. I'm going to Zenith Blade it.
Just trying to get that CC score up. That's what it is. Just for
no, for Aurelia. But still XP at least for Jinx. We are losing plates on the backside of it in exchange. Oh, nice little hop to pick up the. Looks like we're rushing Visage in the top lane ahead of a Mythic. Just protecting ourselves from some of the burst maybe Malphite has in terms of base damages and corrupting potion.
Yeah, it's surprising. I mean, I've seen a lot of different Gnar builds recently. My personal favourite is the Triforce at the moment, the on hit. But I feel like it gives you so much lane pressure, and I think I probably could have been opted into here. But deciding to go pure tank here, protect themselves up front against this Malphite. Maybe trying to secure the lead that he already has, with quite a sizable farm difference already showing up in the top lane.
Yeah, despite TPing away from the lane as well. I think Malphite's opted to hold his TP for the entire time. Now that he's hit 6 and even 7, there's opportunity for
flash in.
As Set flashes in here, finds Seraphine waiting on the other side of the wall, but some additional members as well. Kindred hopping over as well. Because the high note Seraphine ult just a little short, just a little wide there. It's going to about just disengage the play there. Not too sure if anything of value is spent, maybe a couple of ignites. No flashes, just some ultimate spells.
Yeah, no, overall, I mean, some massive ult used, but you got the ignite, the flash. You know, it's sort of worth it for Yar.
Giving a bit of pressure to bot lane as well, who had been somewhat struggling since Leona's been around a little bit. Still a 5 CS advantage for Jinx it, possibly flexing back into Ziggs' advantage after this wave collapses back. So we'll have to keep our eyes.
Yeah, that XP difference has just come from the Leona roaming, and that's perfectly fine. It's something you like to see, because an ADC with a couple levels, a support doesn't need many levels past 6, and it just opens up so much more for the ADC to be able to sit on their own and not die.
Yeah. Not dying. Trundle maybe looking for something in the mid lane. Maybe finds a Gnar on this blue buff instead. We'll have to see if this camera takes us to it. Yeah, here's the Gnar, Gnaring Trundle into the wall. The pillar's not really going to do too much here, apart from deny Gnar a couple of attacks on the back end of this wall. But the members are now arriving. Irelis in the vicinity as well as Malphite. Malphite has his ult available as well. There's a float straight landing onto Kindred. Does secure the Lamb's respite after securing that blue buff as well. Seraphine not really in the right place to get anything done there. Kindred's going to fall. Not surely to fall as well. Seraphine unable to find a way into that play. I think the flash coming up a little short there from Malphite. It's 2 for 1. But we did get the blue buff.
Hey, blue's important nowadays, okay? If the mid laners get the blue, they go mental. But I will say, very close play. Unlucky the Seraphine didn't have ult there. That is the combo. You go the Kindred ult into the Seraphine ult. I guess it was just a lack of communication there. The Trundle nearly went down on the back end of it, but his passive came through, and every time he gets an assist, he heals for a lot, and they're able to pick up this Rift Herald on the back of it. Ooh, nearly caught Shopping.
So just making sure Seraphine doesn't get herself a nice set of boots here, but Leona going in, gets Satchel Charge away here from Ziggs, but the Zenith Blade and the Zap Connects flashing away there from the Solar Beam. Ziggs just about surviving there, having to use both Summoner spells there to get away from that Ignite, and just immense amount of CC. Yeah,
ult and, the Leona Flash, Ignite, and ulti all used there, just a trade for the Ziggs sums. I'd say it's fine. The Leona ult is quite a big playmaking thing, but nowadays the CD on it is ridiculously low and should be up just in time. Maybe for a dive that they might be setting up here with the Seraphine ult.
I don't think so, since Seraphine's in the vicinity as well as Kindred, moving players to the location. Are spied out on a ward. I don't know if they know that yet. But it does mean they have priority and tempo here to pick up this Drake. Infernal on the card, so Ocean Salt and Mountain Salt in options. Jinx on the back end of this fight here. Mega Inferno Bomb's going to land onto quite a few in the set. Just going to dunk the Jinx into the river. Should be drowning in that puddle from there, and that's an Infernal Drake. And 2 kills netted here for 752 Academy.
Yeah, Jinx just not using any sums. I think she must have thought that she was already dead there and decided not to commit to the sums, but on the back end you just give in the set an opportunity to get onto that Leona as well, just get the double, and this is looking pretty rough now with the Drakes 1-1. No real clear win condition here now. You need to play through the jungle, but you're losing the jungle now. You're losing the top side and you're losing the mid side. It's losses all around at this point.
Yeah, priority kind of loss that Seraphine just concedes into Aurelia is a little bit of a shame. I think that's kind of what won them the Herald, and they're now going to break this Herald open into the bot lane as well. Jinx going to continue to fight up in the side lane rather than be sent into mid for now. Looks like maybe they were considering moving pieces as Seraphine started to path towards bot lane to start with.
Yeah, this Jinx needs to sit on the side lane for a bit, get a couple of levels, get an item, maybe be able to help out in the team fight later. You've got the Seraphine, you got the Leona to help a late game. You just got to get to that point. And at the moment, this AD comp is just not working great for them. And as we're seeing, the Seraphine is going into the Leandries here because they're so tanky on the other side. Yeah. Technically 3 tanks and a bruiser, but honestly, it's crazy.
Yeah, the amount of lifesteal already coming in as well. 400 health already built for the Trundle, as well as the on-hit passive with the Spellblade. Playing Sandra, Bork, lead. There's an ult here with Malphite ult. Going to hop over the pillar and the Malphite. 2 rocks, 1 hop. Kindred in the vicinity going to get this one just about cleaned up with double press the attack on the back end, flashing forward here, but it's just going to get chomped on and munched on before he can finish it off. Wolf not really going to get a bite in himself, and Gnar just going to be cleaned up on the back end of it. There's Trundle being Trundle.
Yeah, Trundle the Menace. Kindred just trying to greed for the Malphite kill, but can't use the ulti there. And in the end, it just gets the Gnar killed at the same time, and the tower's going to go down. As you can see, a gold lead has emerged about 4k at this point. I can only see it going down from this point with the team fighting's team of 7. Just really shining through.
752. Just call 752 being able to just call him 7. Just call him Academy. I don't know. Add it up. What does it come to? 14? 14 Academy. But yeah, 752 coming away with a bit of a lead. Not quite 14 or 752 gold lead. Instead, we're looking at about a 5k gold lead. Maybe just shy of that, picking up 2 of the outer towers. Still got this mid lane tower to crack. Maybe that's an opportunity for Yar to find the team fight in their favor. But of course, Ziggs, the tower shredding monster that he is, is probably not due to last this mid lane tower too much longer.
Yeah, I think Numbers Academy are doing very well here. They've really stopped this Kindred from being able to hit any mark that she needs, and has really forced this Kindred to go for those plays. I guess thinking back on it, she must have had a mark on the Malphite and really needs that to hit that three range spike. At this point, we're getting into that dicey situation where you've drafted both teams have drafted a team fight comp, and one team works better than the other team here.
Yeah. We'll have to see if that's the trend that carries on for the rest of the game here at 15 minutes. There is still time for recovery. Baron yet to be in play, another Rift Herald to come through. I didn't have a look at what Soul is going to be. I assume it's a mountain yet. Looking at the Rift, a Mountain Soul is on the cards. One Drake apiece does stop the kind of Drake win condition, or at least stalls it a little bit, especially if you steal another one, make it go 2-2.
Yeah,
Elder Dragon.
if I was Numbers Academy right now, I'd be really excited about this Mountain Soul. You've got such tanky members. You take that, all of a sudden everyone's going to need Lord Doms. You might need a Void Staff. It's really gonna hurt the progress of VR in this game.
Zap spots out Trundle here, trying to walk into the river. Well, not the river, the jungle, which is no longer theirs, losing that mid tower. No one being able to stop Ziggs. Walk that wave in, just going to blow that one up with a satchel charge. So it's now 3 towers in favor of Numbers Academy. Drake on the cards as well in just 45 seconds. I will point out that's 4 plated steel caps completed. 752 Academy, all but the Ziggs who instead opts for sorcerers. Of course, that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, we're starting to see this item disparity. See, of course, the bounties as well, just kind of describe where that gap is being made. Nah, yet to complete his item. There is 2 Krakens now on the side of Yar. That's going to be quite crucial. Of course, the plate is going to negate that kind of early, but as long as Kindred allows Respite and Jinx can get some feel between the 6 of the members, there's opportunity for you to shred through the tanky side, so long as they don't find their way onto the backline first.
Yeah, I mean the Krakens are nice, but you're against a dive comp here, a dive comp in a team fight situation. You're drafted very squishy except for the Gnar, and if the Gnar's not in Mega, then you're gonna have problems. And without having a massive Gnar ult to be able to peel, I feel like it's sort of already doomed.
They get a trade hit for the Herald. Going to be kind of hard to use that one. You're walking up very much past your area of control. You see on the minimap already, look at the amount of red coloured wards and red wards, I suppose. And the enemy side just going to try and drop this Herald immediately, but I don't think they're going to linger around to stay hit. Force the flash out there from Leona, as it just kind of describes the situation they're in. They wanted to make a play happen, but it's not really within their sphere of control, so they're just going to have to concede that objective. They lose the dragon, and they basically just immediately splurg the Herald into that top lane with nothing gained, and there's advantage being spread, control wards, and more wards into the top side.
I think they gain 50 gold for killing the Herald, and then I think it's 100 gold if you kill the Herald, and then the enemy team gets 50 for killing it. So I think that works out as a plus 50 gold for Yar there, but minus the time investments and all the rest of it. I think if you're going to go Herald, you got to hold on to it and really force the gold there, because you've got all this outstanding gold and towers, potential gold.
Yep.
And you really need to get the gold, obviously, and you need to group, push the towers. You're against the Ziggs, so you need to make sure that they can't push to get their towers. So it's a hard matchup for them here, and we're really seeing that they can't really go out of their own areas.
Yeah, 752 kind of biding their time here. I don't think they want to push too hard. Especially with Baron being on the cards. If they lose a fight here, that kind of shutdown gold could go into a losing team fight, Baron in play. So it looks like they're going to try and make something in their favor happen before. Something favorable happen beforehand. There you go, tripping on my words just a little bit.
Yeah, look at this now. You're getting a four-man top. That top tower should be gone now. I don't think you can defend it. It should just disappear with the Ziggs there.
Yeah, Set threatening the entrance to defend this tower. Ziggs, as you say.
Nice Leona ult.
Here's a Leona ult onto 2. Not yet building up too much rage. Kraken Slayer on this. Jinx, gonna have to see how much you can do. We've got the Haymaker just absolutely obliterating Leona with the Super Mega Inferno Bomb. Now hitting Mega, going to use the Seraphine ult. It's just a little shallow, unfortunately.
Yeah,
fine play, but everything just kind of came in one piece at a time and not all at once.
To be fair, I think that was very close to hit, and I think if the Jinx moved slightly over and didn't dodge it, I think it bounced off her, hits the Gnar, and then continues onwards. because that range is extended again by every single person in it. So I think it could have gone all the way. Good try to get something back there, but the set flashing forward really just locks up this Leona. And look at how fast the Leona went down in that fight. Then that's your best tank at the moment, and she gets blown up in about 2 seconds.
Yeah, she's a mythic behind set at the moment. He's opted for the chem tank. It seems like should be going for the, well, not the locket, but probably the chem tank as well. Looking at those items, looking up some CD as well.
I think that's the build path for Locket, if I'm not mistaken. On Leona.
Locket doesn't build out of Aegis, does it?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
And
I've
Kindred
definitely
Gem.
been playing too much Pokemon Unite.
It's okay. It's okay. Leona. I think the Mobi's on Leona. Probably the wrong choice here. Steel Cap's probably better. Maybe he would have helped to be a bit more tanky in that last fight, but honestly, it's looking rough across the board here, and I think they're just gonna have to turtle and just wait for late.
Yeah, I'm going to sit in the Setsudo formation. If it works for the Romans, it can work for us. It might be an ancient strategy, but it probably still checks out, Captain. Just going to have to camp around at our towers, wait for 752 to make a mistake. They are going to stack up Drakes in the meantime, though. Drake spawning in 1 minute. Baron is also on the cards. Maybe if they can make something happen, they can transition it into a Baron. Of course, unlock that potential gold in the outer towers, as we're talking about. But until something major happens, they're not really going to find much opportunity to set past the river mark, or maybe even past the junk marks that they've lost for outer towers. So, a bit of a waiting game for now.
Yeah, we're gonna see we're gonna have to see a great Baron take here from numbers, because so far during our time casting together, we've seen some utter blunders around the Baron and his throws. So if they risk it all too early with this low damage team comp, I think it could be easily turned by the use of CC from Yar. So we'll see how it goes. I think they're just gonna opt to take the Dragon Soul beforehand. But I think we won't see a Baron for at least 6 minutes here, unless a massive team fight occurs.
Right, we'll have to keep our eyes peeled for a massive team fight. It should be really hard to miss, but just in case we're glazing over, our eyes will be peeled instead. Dragon now spawning, just 4 seconds away. All of the members are here. Control wards already set up in the area. Control wards already set up in the inventories as well. Not really going to be contested. They're big danger just in case something will happen, but just going to put Jinx into the side lane. Just going to try and make sure that all the members are getting as much gold as they possibly can, since they know that the Drake's being taken.
Yeah, you're just trying to get some gold here, maybe threaten them off of being able to push this bot lane, but it's warded on Baron, so they know that they're not doing that, so they know that they don't need to worry. So hopefully this Jinx can get this top tower, maybe get a bit of gold back, but honestly, you're just giving away Drake for free, and you didn't even use the Jinx ult, and Jinx ult smite is, about, what, 1k at this point? Maybe you get lucky and outsmite. But I believe in always risking it, just in case, You're not going to need the Jinx ult for the next couple minutes.
Yeah, even if the chance is low, right? The cost of using it is also quite low. It's unlikely that Jinx is going to need or rely on that ult for the next 90 seconds.
I don't think
stealing that trick away.
I think that the Jinx hasn't opted into Lord Doms here, and I think the Kindred might be next. I'm not too sure, but I think it's going to have to be necessary on both of them here just to be able to get through this tanky frontline. The steel toe caps say it all, really, and
yeah,
look at the Malphite just building armor upon armor, every single armor item just get in my inventory. That's all I need.
Got a bit of a stacking into Tulsa trying to find an Aurelia, but the Aurelia knows better, understands that it's kind of the side of the map's dark and don't really want to give away an additional 200 gold bounty, so just got to walk away from danger there. But yeah, as you're saying, right, it looks like a PD and maybe a rapid fire cannon here for the Jinx instead, so opting more towards attack speed rather than armor penetration, of course. I mean, just look at those Malphite items, naturally scaling with armor pretty well already. Got the Sunfire, got the plated steel caps, good old nature tabbies, and 3 half items of armor as well. So Malphite going to be absolute truck to take down. Seraphine has completed that Leandries, but I don't know how much time it's going to take a Seraphine just to melt through an entire Malphite, considering there's 4 other members to contend with as well.
Yeah, I think the Malphite was he was planning on going to Thornmail and then sidetracked into Frozen Heart there, and I think Frozen Heart here is the correct build. Attack speed slows on the Jinx and Kindred, that'll really help.
And as you say, it's...
And obviously the healing reduction definitely necessary versus Seraphine comp.
Yeah, of course. Malphite probably going to be at the front line, and if Jinx is being peeled properly. She's not really going to have anybody else to hit unless Irelia is in range to kill her. But of course, if Irelia is in range to kill her, she's probably dead. So yeah, that Bramble going to be of value if the team fights do go the way they'd like them, which is pretty much front to back, or well, really front and back into the enemy back.
See a Malphite ult.
Here's a Malphite ult straight onto 2 unstoppable force, really unstoppable, but the Mega Photobomb is unstoppable, or is in fact stoppable with the Lance Respite, but it's not going to really protect them for too much longer as they only last a couple of seconds. Here's Malphite flashing in with the Q, just going to throw a boulder at the Kindred, throw another rock. It's not quite Talia, but it's definitely punching all the same.
Yeah, and that's just going to be Baron straight away, and that was greedy. They pushed an extra wave when they shouldn't have, and the Malphite just flanked them, and you got to respect the Malphite ult. And at this point, I think Kindred ult is pretty much useless. You're just saving them and just delaying your reset timers here.
Yep.
There's no way your team could get to you there. Maybe just save the CD and go next.
Yeah, it might be a go next at this point because the Baron is going to be locked in, smited down to 6 and picked up by Ziggs, just distributing the gold. Going to find a little ward on the way in, just a little bit of extra 30 gold. Seraphine going to be caught out here by the perfect pillar. Going to stop Seraphine from walking away, instead has to flash out of that. A little bit perhaps greedy. No, it does get the Grom, so maybe it's worth it. It's a little bit of something. Silver linings. Take them where we can get them.
It's always nice to steal a camp off someone. Always feels good.
Especially as a support.
Oh, definitely. Also, the gold difference now has extended to about 6k. It has been hovering about the 4k mark for most of the game, which is quite surprising that they haven't been able to extend. And I think Yarv done pretty good at stopping the bleeding up until that fight. Then, obviously, the Baron gives you quite a big gold payout and XP payout. So
yeah,
I think the big fight here will be the Mountain Soul. I can't tell if I would give it here and try and fight the Elder. Just go for the Jinx steal and just reset and just play towers. Because I don't think you have the opportunity to walk in and set up for this ever.
I would be surprised, but you can always play it by agency Kindred trying to do the same. Just kind of waiting around to see if there's any opportunity. But it might get caught out instead. Does skip away, but the pillar's going to knock them back again from the Haymaker. A little bit of anti-wombo, but of course they've been pushed already back from this pit. Drake spawning in just 12 seconds now. I will point out that the Trundle's vision score is a little bit disappointing, but we'll move swiftly on as his TP's coming in to topside. Malphite on the perimeter here for a flank. He gets hit before Jinx. Jinx is kind of isolated from this fight. Pink's coming down there, kind of aware of it. Going onto Malphite, but it's not really enough. Zenith Blade finds an unstoppable force. Has to on top of himself with the Mega Photobomb just to kind of clean him up there with the Leandro step on the back end. The Seraphine ult is pretty big. I think it only connects onto 2, however. Lance's Sprite's not really going to save anybody's life here again, as Irelia is just going to clean it up on the backside. Set's going to clean it up on the front side with the Malphite as well. They might be tanks, but they're doing more damage than you are because they're just not taking any damage at all. They got an Irelia. They got a little bit of a shutdown. They stalled the dragon just a little bit, but they're going to lose so much more.
Yeah, and now they've got Mountain Soul, and neither carry. These 2 AD carries that you've put all the pressure in. Before that fight, none of them had Magic Pen. The Jinx, now realizing the situation, has started to build into it. But it's honestly, you're so far behind now. I don't think you can recover with the Mountain Soul. How are you going to burst through a Malphite, a Set, and a Trundle just full tank? There's no way at this point. You're not fit enough to do it, and you've put your mid laner on a support champ to help these.
Well, maybe it starts with a pick like this, as Ziggs having to flash away from the death mark here. Kindred just about
ambitious.
Ooh, getting ambitious. I mean, I would have expected her to 1v1 the Ziggs, but maybe not the other way around. Ziggs just drops a couple of spells on Kindred's head, and that's to leave that Ziggs beat Yordle doing Yordle things. I don't think he got the inhibitor.
Now, to remind the viewers, this is a best of 3 situation, so it's not the end of the world. They can work on their draft and adapt it here, and I think, personally, my adaptations are the mid and jungle here.
Yeah.
Put your mid on a carry that enables the jungle more. You've put them on a support champ, and they've been put into an Irelia here. They had no way to push and move, because the Irelia was just able to pressure them off every single wave, and it really impacted the Kindred, because the Kindred needs to get mid prior to be able to invade to get the marks, and this game we've seen otherwise.
Yeah, a point of note as well, they often talk about her being perhaps the most reliable, or one of the stronger members, especially in terms of at least the league, if not on the team. So of course putting him on something that has a kind of backseat kind of carrying position is maybe not as reliable. It's not the kind of potency we'd like to see, perhaps. This comp definitely works. It's not something that has like straight out flaws. It's not an issue of the composition, but it's an issue of what they're playing into, right? Like in combination with the Kindred, maybe that's a flaw I've been ignoring. Is like you're saying, you don't have the priority to give the Kindred the advantage that she needs.
Yeah,
Of course, they fall behind on the back of it. Maybe against better teams it goes fine, or sorry, against worse teams it goes fine. But it seems 7-5-2 here are definitely a good match for Yar, as they've been able to clean this one out pretty well so far. But there's a Leona roll and a Zenith Blade to follow up, but that's an unstoppable 4 straight back onto 2 as Malphite just one-shots Jinx almost solo here. Leona going to get cleaned up on the backside. She buys a little more time than normal. Well, that's a massive Gnarl, and the Lancer Spike's going to buy Kindred some time to get some of this damage out. The Seraphine not really able to find much position to do anything here, and the Aurelia still alive, just going to clean this one up as well. Too much tanky health bars on the backside. Yes, he got time. Yes, he got a big Gnar, but it's just not enough to overcome that massive gold lead. Now stretching a 10k, now stretching a Dragon Soul as well. Seraphine going to be looking over these towers here, and this is 7-5-2, knocking on the base. Going to clean up game 1. Nexus going to fall as well. Who's going to get that 50 gold? A bit of a TP. 50 gold for the Trundle there, picking up that bit of advantage, stretching himself to a 700 gold bounty. So fair play to 7-5-2. Definitely well played. GG's in the chat there, of course. Jarl looking to come back for game 2, maybe with a different draft.
Yeah, and honestly, just a draft difference. To be honest, I think you've drafted pretty much a full AD with a Seraphine. The Seraphine's damage late game. Yeah, you got to hit 4 items for it to be able to do the insane damage into that tank comp, and your main job is healing and shielding, and the people you heal and shielding can't do the damage to the tanks. Yeah. So you're then just stuck in this bad situation where you go, do I just build full damage on the support champ? Do I just try to burst through them myself? And to be fair, a few unlucky ultimates from the Seraphine. That last team fight.
Mm.
Just I think it must have been a couple of pixels off. The Leona must have Leona E's just slightly pulling them just out of the range, and that could have been decently big. But honestly, I think going into the next game, I want to see some draft adaptation here. Really focus on trying not to make this an AD heavy comp.
Yeah, and something a bit more agency for Harry as well to help Slinny out. Slinny showing up with a Pentacle last time on Zinzao, of course, makes sense now. Looking back on the draft, the amount of jungle picks taken away. Mythy being able to make the difference here with Trundle at 7-on-1 over a 1-5 Kindred. Maybe a different day goes a different way, but in a best of 3, this is what the game 1 has shifted up to be, and you have to think that maybe composition-wise things can change. Maybe not so heavy AD, maybe not so concisive, not concisive, concessional, that's the one, not giving too much away in the early laning phase. This team, looks like they wanted to be proactive. We see the Leona being out of the lane for quite a lot of the time, but they weren't able to find anything because Kindred was looking for marks and they weren't able to find anything.
Yeah, the Kindred, the Kindred and the Leona were wandering around a lot together early on. Leona was level 4 for a long time, and obviously the set didn't go bot as well, so the level advantage there didn't really make much difference between the Jinx and the Ziggs, but the set was able to use the Hex Flash to his advantage to get in those flank positions and was able to burn a few sums. I think notably, I think he burnt the Seraphine Fiend Flash early on. He also burnt the Jinx Flash when she wasn't expecting them to be back bot lane. Honestly, I think very well played by the set. That's where you go the phase rush just to be able to get that movement speed and all the rest of it. But overall, I think it was just you're picking Kindred at the moment into that comp, and I just don't think it's very good. You need an anti-dive situation. They've got such heavy dive on that comp. Maybe if they took the Braum instead and had maybe, I'm trying to think what jungler would go well into that situation. You've got maybe an Ivan, a Zac, some sort of maybe a bit more tankiness. You know, maybe. Yeah, maybe you put your mid lane on a carry next time and you put your jungler on the support. I don't know. I think the biggest thing to adapt is obviously the build paths. We didn't see the Lord Doms come through second items for either of the ranged marksmen. That is a massive mistake that I think is expected at this level, but should really be avoided in practice.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see what differences are made. We can make our own projections, but the reality is often different to the truth, or not the truth, from the expectations. Coming in for an expectation for Yar to win this match, hopefully going to be a 2-1 cleanup. I guess that counts as a reverse sweep. I feel like going 2-1 in a best of threes doesn't really count as a reverse sweep, but
As a
fingers
reverse
crossed for it
sweep.
all the same. So if we're ready to toss it to a break, we'll probably start in maybe 8 or so minutes around that time, probably around 8. So we'll see you then in a
Yep.
bit.
I'll see you in a bit.
Alrighty, and welcome back to the EsportsWales channel. We're here for Game 2 of VR versus 752 Academy. Game 1 went in the way of 752. Kind of chalked it down to a draft difference. They kind of gave over priority in their early lanes, and that transitioned into objectives, that transitioned into kills, and it was really just a clean escalating draft from, well, kind of minute 130. There was a little bit of a early skirmishing in that bot lane that seemed to tip favors back and forth, but as soon as the first kind of objectives came down and the towers started to go, it really was just 752's way. So we're now looking just ahead of draft to see what we want to see instead for Team Yar. Something that gives them a little bit more proactivity, something that gives them the agency that they were looking to have but couldn't quite find in game 1.
Yeah, I think Mathers Academy did very well at flexing picks in the draft. They had quite a few picks that can go anywhere. You know, the Sep, the Trundle, the Aurelia, all these champs. You know, they can go in any lane. They had the Ziggs as well. You know, mid and ADC. I'm pretty sure every single pick they did was a flex pick. Even Malphite nowadays is being played in support every now and then. So quite a good idea. You know, following they've been obviously reading up on some Flexius picks and. I think it paid off pretty well, and no one knew exactly where everything was going until everything was locked in and in draft. Well, in game. Sorry. I think that there was some problems with Yai countering with some AP. They didn't want to take the AP, and I'm not sure why. I wonder if it's just that they had been practicing a certain team comp and they just thought they could win into everyone, or if it was just them a bit more undecided on how to counter such a heavy tanky team comp.
I will point out as well, the Ziggs is something we mentioned even in the higher levels of play, that maybe a 1 in 10 Ziggs is good. Slat had a perfectly fine performance on that Ziggs as well. We'll have to see if that changes. Maybe it's taken away, maybe it's picked away, maybe they have a different idea of what they want to play into it now that they've seen it played. Now have opportunity between the games and right now to think about what they want to do with that Ziggs instead. Even if they are thinking about the Ziggs, maybe the issue is, as we diagnosed, was just the kind of tankiness and the brawlishness of that comp between the Trent and the Aurelia, and the items they have available to them at the moment. We'll note that Team Yar has opted for red side, so they'll be having counter pick this time. So it seems that both of these teams prefer to be on the red side, at least between the two of them. So Yar now playing with the idea of having a counter pick lane.
Yeah, that just means that the Diana Zin is going to be the problem here, because I assume Yar's going to try and ban the Diana, which leaves the Zin open. Sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway, going on into draft now. I will say the Ziggs did play very well. For considering he's the lowest ranked here of gold 4, I think he played it perfectly fine for a gold 4.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting massive outplays, but he did follow up with the ulti and get a couple kills with it. So happy to see.
Yeah, he didn't die and he landed out, so of course, yeah, I tend to agree. Maybe a little too fine on the Ziggs taken away.
Bye Ziggs. You've had fun. Bye. Maybe
Our
come out for
towers are
game
far
3.
too precious. Maybe game 3. We'll have to see how this one shapes up, of course, still.
Volibear,
Bands coming in. Volley.
quite a strong jungler at this moment. Very easy point click. CC, Viego, scary pick. Anyone can play it. So same ban as the first time round. He's probably one of the strongest mid laners at the moment. Except for maybe Zed, Diana, I think. I wonder what we're going to see as a return here.
And Diana on the board. So if they don't ban Zin down here, it's likely to be picked up maybe first, assuming that Mithy is going to pick up the Zin. It seems that they prefer not to play against the Diana over the Zin, because of course you have the option to ban either there, so Diana is their worst fear of the two. We'll have to see what your takeaway here.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to take away the Zin, considering from research you can tell. Well, I've researched the jungler and that he plays a lot of Hecarim, so I wonder if that's going to be the ban. Nautilus, okay, I guess they just really hate that support champ. Point click ultimate, very hard to dodge, well, impossible
And
to
point and
dodge.
click hook as well. Yeah.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, I've seen some clips recently of it going through walls and all the rest of it. Yeah, broken champ. Hitbox, yeah, broken. A Trundle just picked up straight away here. I guess that's just their go-to jungle pick. I guess they just think that he can't be matched.
There's also, of course, potential for Trundle to still find his way into support or top lane, so that we talked about in the first draft as well. So considering how quick they were to lock it in, I assume it's something they're quite comfortable to maybe flex around and play around with. I'm just going to give their other lanes of themselves more options,
The
having seen
Karma's
what
in.
Yara are going to lock in. I
Karma's in.
like the
Pick that.
combos in here. It's something that we've seen them play before. It's something that we've seen Bastards work pretty well with as well. Of course, Karma being quite flexible and Zin being something we've seen Selene have exceptional performances on and exceptional comfort on. So already looking a little bit better for Yara just on those two picks alone.
Yeah, I think Zin does pretty well into Trundle as well. Probably out skirmishes him early on. Probably one of the strongest ones. They're taking the Seraphine here. I guess they just really don't like if they were to put that on top of that pairing.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, then you have double shields, double heals. Seems a bit strong. I wonder if that Seraphine's going to be opted into the mid lane, or maybe the support. If they don't pick with the Karma already locked in, you're not expecting to see maybe not a heavy engage support here. So you might be able to get away with the Seraphine in the bot lane. Yeah, the Aurelia picked up as well. That's probably Seraphine support here. Like to see a heavy engage support. Maybe a Pike is quite fun into a Seraphine support. But be interesting to see maybe if you just take the mid matchup, you know it's already locked in. You can pick what you want then.
Yeah, we talked a lot about the Thresh during last draft as well, and I think now I'd quite like the Aurelia pickup here because you're then kind of forcing a Thresh ban maybe if you're threatening your Seraphine.
Ooh,
Okay,
the
this is
Akali.
much more like it. So the Akali is the answer instead of a Seraphine this time into the Aurelia. Uh,
I like it.
Aurelia definitely had a good performance last game.
Just simply based off the fact that you haven't put your mid laner on support, and you've got your top two best players on carry champions straight away. Akali's in Zhao.
Yeah.
Uh, a great pick. I wonder if the camera's going to head towards the top or support side. Personally, I'd like to see it in the top side just because of the Seraphine. I think maths might have done some calculations and figured out something similar. So if it is Karma top, it's going to be very good into ranged people. I wonder if they're going to answer with the Kled. I believe is their top laner's poison of choice. So I think that'd be quite an interesting matchup to see. Again, together as Pantheon. I wonder who plays the Pantheon. Do you think it's the top side or we've already seen the mid jungle? So
It's a curious one, isn't it? I suspect it might be something on the bot lane. Picking out something like Set and Kilog in support already, I feel like Pantheon's of a similar kind of caliber of support in that sense, jumping out on a bush, just
yeah,
CCing and deleting a single carry.
I wonder if they're going to pick
Not,
the support here first or the ADC. Because if you take the support here, you sort of give away the flex between the Karma. So I would
yeah,
rather see the ADC picked up here, but we'll see what they go with.
sure. Jinx was the ADC of choice last time. Tristana had been taken off the board again, so it's not going to be
Oh,
the little Yordle.
it's the Varus. Okay, Varus Karma, very good lane, heavy poke. I can see that working, and at the end they still have counter pick for top or support, depending on how it goes. So
Yeah,
looking like a better draft here. I think more even. They just need they sort of need a tank. I think yeah, they definitely need a tank here. Karma Shields isn't going to carry you too far into late. Leona picked up here. A bit of a rough lane for Leona into Varus Karma. You shouldn't really be able to get onto them with the amount of poke that they do throw out.
yeah. Maybe something like a Caitlyn then. Maybe something with a little bit more range. But Felius, maybe level 1. Ashe is available as well. You're giving yourself a lot of options in terms of CC there as well as the range, even if not sustain.
Ornn. So they're going to
Looks
put the
like
Seraphine into the ADC role. Interesting. I wonder how
so.
Yar responds to that. That's a flex that I haven't seen for a while. The Hover and the Alistair. I'm not sure if you pick the Alistair into that. You've already got Varus Karma. Varus Karma into Seraphine Leona sounds perfectly good to me. I think you just take a top matchup instead into the Ornn. There's many champions that can counter the Ornn in that top side nowadays. Ooh,
Well,
Alistair it
it's going to
is.
be the Alistair locked in instead. It does still fit the bill of something you were looking for, something a bit tanky,
Tank, yeah.
something that can frontline. In my mind, I was thinking that maybe reliable engage is lacking here as well. You're looking for a Varus or just maybe closing the gap with the Zins out, but it's not really the kind of engage. But with Alistair, you have now the option to start a team fight on demand, just about.
Yeah, I wonder if
Uh,
it's going to be on hit Varus here or lethality. I think lethality will be better for lane because you should just be able to one shot the Seraphine. Uh, I think them doing this flex here to leave the Seraphine as the ADC here is probably a bad situation. I think they probably would have been better off supporting you taking a proper ADC here, using the Seraphine as the engage with the Ornn. Because the Seraphine's surely just going to get one shot by anyone who gets on top of her in this game, unless he goes the exhaust and decides to have like 6 exhausts for every single person who jumps on her.
Yeah, am somewhat concerned. The maths checking out for me here is that that's pretty much 4 melee champions. Yes, you can get some dashes. Yes, you can get a pillar and you can close some of these gaps with Leona, etc. But it's going to be hard to get on an Akali with the Shroud. It's going to be hard to get through an Alistair in the way. It's going to be hard to get through the Twins of Corruption. It's going to be hard to get through the Karma Massive Shield. I forget what that's called. Mantra E. I forget what the E is called.
A big
but
shield.
the result's the
Big
same, right?
shield.
There's shield and then there's big shield.
Yeah.
There's also the Xin Zhao Crescent Guard as well. There's so much opportunity for Yar here to play around the kind of range advantage, movement speed advantage, and then the disengage and the shove advantage and the CC. So it's on to numbers here to try and make a numbers advantage. That's probably the best way to try and secure a team fight, because I don't think if you're putting members onto members that you're going to come out ahead when you have to get through Alistair and Xin Zhao disengage.
Yeah, let's be fair. That for Yar, they're gonna be playing through mid and bot, right? For maths, they can't play through bot surely with the Seraphine. What's the point of getting the Seraphine fed in this game? Because the Seraphine's probably going to go the same build as we saw last time. Maybe not Leandri's, maybe Ludens. I think you're more expecting for the burst here. But
maybe
really,
even the other option.
maybe the Moonstone. But
Frost. Yeah.
I'm not.
Moonstone as well.
Yeah, I'm not really expecting though, because you got the Aurelia as well. So you sort of want some AP damage, because they sort of flipped it again, right? Where they've got the one AP source sort of thing. But I feel like Varus should just be able to win that lane alone with the poke. Surely you've got so much poke there. It should just be easy, reliable poke on the Seraphine. So that should just be a one lane anyway, without jungle. Even if the Trundle comes down, it should just be one, right? The Kali Aurelia matchup is, I believe, a skill matchup. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's that way. Either way, Harry opted into it, and I trust his opinion here.
Yeah.
So you then got Xin Zhao Akali versus Trundle Aurelia, and I do think Akali Xin Zhao would win that pretty heavily, unless Aurelia hits an insane stun or Trundle hits a god tier pillar that locks someone in a wall for 30 days.
Yeah,
30
it
nights.
takes an outplay to kind of overcome that as well. I suspect Xin Zhao has a faster clear than Trundle.
Yes.
So it kind of comes down to how you say, right? It's a skill matchup in the 2v2. It is a skill matchup in the 1v1 between Aurelia and Akali to see who can move to play that 2v2 first. Because if Akali's coming out the lane, that's a 2v1 for Trundle. Trundle definitely doesn't win that.
Yeah, I wonder if the Xin Zhao is going to punish the Trundle, because the Trundle can't really do AoE camps very easily. So he's mainly going to be going like buff Gromp, buff maybe even wolves, and then like Krug's not really doing chickens. I'm not sure if he's going to start red or blue, but he can, he leaves it alone, and he can't really do these AoE camps so like early on. So the Xin Zhao should just be able to look for these early engages, and if he does attempt them, punish heavily. And with this Akali, I'm expecting easier roams and easier movement. You've got the Akali who can get over walls with just an E. I think we have an interesting game ahead of us here.
Yeah, and if you're wondering why we're not talking about top lane, it's Zorn versus Karma. There isn't really too much to talk about there.
Top lanes boring as it is anyway. We all know what top lane's like. Yeah.
This is definitely an island situation. Maybe there's opportunity if junglers find themselves pathing top lane and the wave happens to be on your side of the map. Maybe then there's opportunity to punish somebody, but it's very unlikely with both of them taking grasp and teleport. Any action involving the top laners is probably not going to be in the top lane. It'll be them moving around the map and using their ultimates and their mantra shields. For the team fights, of course, this is what they're handshaking on. It's like, right, we're going to put 2 utility champions in the top lane, and then when it comes to 5v5, we'll both have a equally well prepared top laner for that scenario. But here we are onto the rift for week 5 of Team Yar versus 752 Academy, Numbers Academy.
One thing to note here, Aerie on Seraphine. Now, this is something that triggers me slightly. I am personally a fan of the Comet. I believe that, but every time your CC for a ability comes up, you probably have Comet backup. And looking for a cheeky engage here. I think this isn't going to look very good for Xin Zhao.
In the river, you're going to have to flash, but followed there by the Blade Surge, and that's the first blood here onto Trundle.
Is Harry going to be caught out as well here?
By the Aftershock on Leona. Going to have to use the Q, get a little bit of movement speed. Dancing around a little too hard. Going to have to flash away here after the Ignite follows up. Could have just walked away there, I think.
That's a tragic start here for Yai. You've got two flashes punished on probably the 2 most important members, and Trundle picking up an early kill here might actually help him with the jungle clear. Yeah, he's getting a longsword. That'll help him speed up his clear much faster.
Going to pick up the sweepers for a little bit of security as well. He's going to find his way into lanes a little bit easier. Since going to be under pressure here to make up this gap. 400 gold already. Carly losing that flash, as we mentioned, is a skill matchup, and of course, flashes are very much a part of an assassin's toolkit here to try and get onto an Aurelia, or evade an Aurelia as well. Of course, if that foolish duet connects, an Aurelia can just blow you up, no matter what champion you are.
Yeah, but both mid laners have got enough dashes as it is, but the flash is the big one, right? It's always nice to have these insane flashes, but dashes, but the flash is the important one.
Yeah.
Fighting over pressure in the bot lane here for these bushes. The most important thing is the support. Grass proc in the top lane, just keep ticking over, little by little.
Sweepers here on Aurelia. Alistair, of course, not really a champion until level 2. Takes the headbutt, making sure that if Leona wants to find something, it's going to have to be in melee range. So makes a lot more sense than taking the disengage for now. Aurelia getting a little bit of chip in, but of course, Akali getting a little bit of chipping back. And yeah, just a little bit more chip for chip there, tap for tap.
Yeah, I think Kali comes out a bit better. That wave crashes though, so we'll see if she can pick up most of those. But yeah, we're already seeing this Karma coming out quite big against the Soul. Just pushing him off these waves quite easily. Just auto attacking him. Doesn't look like he's doing a lot, but those grass procs are coming through little by little. And eventually the Orm won't be able to, shouldn't be able to walk up unless something goes terribly wrong.
Yeah, the grass goes a long way. We saw last game, the Seraphine struggled to stay alive. Of course, grass putting yourself. I think you still get 3 max health instead of 5 being ranged. What rounds out maybe it's 2 max health. Of course, getting several grasp in the healing. Nice bit of knockup there, but here's a grasp and here's the corruption or the health pot sticking. So probably won't be long until Karma gets that one back up. Bit of an action here in mid lane. Travel finds a way in, finds a pillar behind Karma.
Nice
just
stealth.
dodge forward into the shroud. Stealth to get away from the foolish duet, and the Zinzal's in the vicinity to try and trade back onto Trial. They've got no flashes, remember, but the knockup's enough to close the gap. Zinzal looking for a little bit more, just getting a little bit more chip onto Aurelia. Definitely threat range, as I say, he's dead before that, but the Zen's going to lock that one up. Leona picking up counter kill on top side. We have a bit of action here as well. Karma picking up.
I think you'd be
blinding,
I think you'd be alright with that. The Leona getting that isn't the end of the world, right? Leona with double buffs. If you're the support, you feel happy about it, but if you're Zinza, you're like, at least I've given that over to a support, not the mid laner in that situation.
Yeah, they are doing well to tie back the gold. Of course, losing kill and 2 flashes at level 1. Not the best thing, but they're definitely first on the board.
But a great recovery. The gold leads even again. Kali, nice poke. That seems fair. 1Q, half HP. Love it.
Yeah, I will quickly mention that the flashes are now out first VR. Not having to, well, being able to find a play without the flashes. Speaking of playing without flashes, Aurelia finding her way into this play here. So there's another play happening onto the bot side. We'll have to catch up with mid lane in a second. Grass flashes away under Ignite Leona, making use of those double buffs. Alistair putting himself in between a kill and the enemy.
This lane going differently to how I thought it would go. I guess the Leona's finding angles, and I guess JR just not respecting the Leona engage there and playing a bit differently. Maybe the Alistair needs to stand near him to be able to headbutt the engage every time. Just being able to push out this top side.
So Zinzal finds his way to the top side, as you mentioned. Gets a audacious charge here onto Orn. One or two away from the flash. Flash for the knockup, as I was mentioning. Yars flashes are up first. Karma going to take that one up as well, just in case Zinzal got himself locked up under the creeps. That's another kill onto the top side. It's not something we said that there would be much action, but there was potential for it, and there's that potential being made use of, and that's a pretty big wave crashing and a TP burnt first from Orn. Karma now has opportunity to flex a teleport advantage. Mid lane was suffering a little bit, still is in terms of CS. Trundle pushing his way through the mid lane now on his way to bot side. Did put Akali a little bit back as we jumped into the top lane. Not too much more to be said about that one.
Yeah,
Trundle on the board. It's another cloud. Sorry, go for it.
Trundle really pressuring this mid lane here. Ganked I think about 3 times already, and well on the Akali not to have died once, even without flash. I know you can say she's got the shroud, the E, but it's still well played to not die to ganks here. And at the end of the day, if they died to those 3 ganks, that's 900 gold down. Very well played.
Yeah, just keeping sure that you're not going to give over too much. Yeah, you can see Jelaine, yes, you can go behind him farm, but making sure that you're not giving anything too much more.
I believe we're seeing,
as you say, to make sure. Sorry, go.
I thought we were seeing the the Varus hybrid build with the lethal tempo, but looks like we're going to be going just for a basic on-hit build here. I think that'll probably pay dividends late game with these tanks coming through.
Yeah, didn't find much opportunity to do much on the Jinx or the Kraken Slayer, but maybe this time on the Varus things will be different. The game already seems a little bit better set up, but the God is perfectly even there. Nice little bit of tang. Oh, it ticked at the same time. Now that was satisfying. Still 3 kills to 2, so a little bit of advantage being made in CS probably.
The Alistair BM. That's the best Alistair skin for that reason only.
Bonk, bonk, bonk on the cowbell. Attempting to make a Kitana reference there. I don't think anybody will get it. So
engaging the bot side.
But just engaging the bot side, as you say, Zenith Blade comes in and TP almost is instant. Flash away from Liliana here as the Karma arrives. Not really sure what she's going to be able to do, but I don't think she loses too much.
I think it was just protecting there, but the Alistair probably didn't get the memo about the TP, because I think if the Alistair just went straight for the knock up there, he probably could have CC chained one of them, or at least made Seraphine burn the flash. Really just giving her a way out there with the W.
I think Sinzao might have been spotted on his way into the river here. Whether they know he's camping this bush doesn't seem likely, since he's going to get the audacious charge on the back end here. The Kali ult's burned as well. One counts to perfect execution. Going to get in range for the second.
Great
finds it
return
at the tip. Just making sure that you're in range. Going to patiently wait that one out. Trundle losing time on that as well. Alistair moving up just in case. Varus nice and safe in the base, so nothing really of loss.
That Alistair just moved up to steal the XP. That's all he's done. He's just walked up there gone, oh, I want level 6 soon, let me just steal your wave.
He did give them a triumphant roll, restoring some HP, so it's a bit of a fair trade.
He didn't even stay for the tower plating. Disappointed.
Yeah, not going to get a plate there. Just going to get a little bit of a triple to Trundle instead. Ornn found some plates in the top side. I think they probably found some plates on the bottom side as well. Not going to find a dragon, but they are going to look for Trundle. He's already up to a third, but he's going to get spotted out on the scanner. He's going to get knocked up probably before that as well. Crescent Guard's not going to do enough damage, and Trundle's just going to have to flash away there.
Yeah, I think the ulti was just not needed there by the Xin. And I think we're going to see... Oh, if the Leona goes for that, then the ulti would have been necessary just to push her off. But yeah, the ulti just not really do anything on Xin then. I think you just keep going.
Yeah, maybe instead you can use that time or the opportunity that you're casting on, getting an auto attack in instead. Maybe gives the opportunity to chase down with the W further, and Karma dodging one hit from the Searing Charge from Ornn. Just going to trade a couple of grass procs, get a little bit of a additional poke on the back end. But again, top lane. I don't know why we're hovering up here, but
sometimes
it's relaxing.
It's nice to watch people farm, you know, and not really do anything else. Look at it. Oh,
top lane farming and grass procs to study and relax to. League of Legends Radio, 24 hours. Oh, we're still up here. All right. Well, there's a Searing Charge. There's a little bit of action. A Brittle proc available as well. The CC comes back in exchange. Oh, and a few more grass procs. Oh, wasn't that gorgeous? Like rain on a stormy night. Speaking of storms, Leona's going to pop early here for Alistair. Fails the flash headbutt combo. Going to get the audacious charge here on Zinzao and the chains of Coach. And in the bot lane as the Trundle picks up the kill onto Alistair with the pillar to stop him from getting out. No flash available. Scuffing there. Hello. Oh, it seems I might have lost my co-caster. He's going to be ashamed to have missed that scream on Seraphine, or maybe that's why he's gone. Oh, we're back.
I'm back. don't worry. That Alistair is... that was painful to watch. But you need to know, when you flash on Alistair, if you press the W before you flash on them, it'll go straight through, so you can land that combo every time. Just unlucky macro there, and he sort of deserved to die for that one, I think, on the backside. Luckily the Xin didn't go down as well, but that could have been disastrous for Yar here.
Yeah, fine play, but of course Trundle being in the right place at the right time swings that one. Might have been somewhat redeemable, but as you say, Trundle there punishing the flash on Alistair.
Now we're seeing a 10-minute Drake attempt here, maybe. Oh, Alistair starting it. Control within the back of the pit here. I'm not sure if that is needed.
Looks like they might pull it out. They do have priority in both mid and bot lane, but that looks like it's
almost walking down.
Soon to change.
Oh, he's decided he doesn't want to anymore. They pulled off of it, so the Ornn's gone back up.
Oh, Alistair being in combat here with Leona instantly. Going to get
level 6 though.
No 6 available yet either. Going to knock the Aurelia over the wall. Pretty fine choice there. Crescent Guard's going to knock some players back, but that gives a free call for everyone else to join in and dive, since all the disengage is either dead and or gone.
Ornn had TP first there. That's what happens. we thought we saw him walk topside, but he knew that his TP was coming up any second. He can just walk. He can keep walking there, and if they do force it, he can just TP straight behind. Honestly, I think Alistair not being 6th there probably put a lot of pressure on the rest of the team.
Yeah, of course, Alistair not being able to survive or really get too much done there without his 6 earl gives him a lot more time, a lot more durability. So quick backstop hit, but it might be even more than that. Kill
Caught shot
available as well. Uses the ult hit, holds the flawless duet, still manages to dodge away with the shroud, but there's other members here. Second cast with perfect execution and a flash gets himself away from the killer.
That's unlucky there. Why is everyone mid there? There's no reason. Just why are you protecting the Aurelia's back there? It's a shame to see, but
yeah,
good escape by Harry again.
Yeah, fine opportunity to look for something. It's just a bit unfortunate. It's not really sure why the other members are there after it seems like they were resetting, but maybe just hanging around for a bit of CS. Are in fact able to stop the Akali from finding a kill possibly onto the Aurelia.
Well, this is interesting here. We're seeing a lot of people. We're seeing a lot of maths walking up here. Trundle and Leona here, so they're gonna fight. They're gonna spot before it finishes.
Sweepers and the blast cone popped. Gonna find 2 members stuck in this pit here. Opportunity for a pillar to lock a player in. Is the solar flare and the pillar and the zenith just going to put Karma in a really sorry position? Has to flash over the wall. Has enough time there. Not enough damage to secure her from she goes down.
All I've done is
that is the herald. Yeah.
Trundle just tips his
his fedora. Thank you very kindly, dear Xin Zhao. That's nice of you to get this herald into range of me.
And now they're just going to pop it straight topside and get first tower.
Well.
They just take it topside, get first tower gold here.
Yeah, going to get the plate for it as well. That'll be all 5 plates used on top side. Going to get the Demolish proc to put it down to 2. Going to leave this one maybe early, because the Herald will always take 2 charges. All going to be left aligned to push this wave in, and maybe a second charge on the Herald. We'll have to wait and see for that one. But mid lane's already exchanged with Aurelia, so we see Sophie and Leona standing in that wave, just pushing out. Broad Alistair's just going to be standing at the CS waiting for someone to come along so he can cash in. Xin Zhao's going to come by, but again, information on where Xin Zhao is. You have to play in the Herald into top side. Numbers, making sure they have numbers advantage and are coming into the play at the right times.
Yeah, I will say the Alistair going and Moby's here, I'm not sure it's too necessary when you're thinking about the team comp. Probably the Ninja Tabby would have been better off here. In solo queue, yeah, Moby's all the way, but here, you're not really looking for these roams. So Xin Zhao W just goes wide here. Still trying to get the knock up on Leona.
TP here as well. Karma arrives, and that's an Alistair knocking back. The Leona just going to be food.
Give it over to the Akali. Give it over to the Akali.
Looks like they're going to give it over to the Akali, or instead of giving it over to the Varus.
Varus, cheeky. Give it to the Dark Seal. I mean, that's 5 AP you just robbed from your mid laner there. I mean, that's terrible sportsmanship there.
It looked like it was a decision. All the same, Alistair gonna dodge away from the flawless duet by headbutting the Aurelia backwards, giving Varus space to farm up on this lane. Akali gonna get some time in the bot lane, knowing that Xin Zhao's hovering around and there's no Leona really ready to punch, but there is a troll instead, just about dodging back there. Killer's gonna knock Xin Zhao back into the tribe, pushing into range here.
He's got ulti.
It's gonna be flashed from here with the Crescent Guard. I don't think it's enough. Hooah! And that's the sound of Xin Zhao getting screamed upon. Seraphine gonna be used here as a bit of an exit, dodging back and forth between the Shroud. Gets the second cast out there. Nice bit of patience and nice bit of juking. Keeps Harry alive yet again.
I realised that he couldn't use the E to get away there, so he had to go for the ulti just to get out. Has a position correctly just so he dashed straight into the Shroud again. Very well played. A great knowledge of the champ, I guess.
Yeah, just good understanding, and you see that's a lot of game time, right? Being able to... Well, it didn't even look like he was thinking about it. It's just, okay, cool, I now understand that I have to use my ult here to get the 2-casted dash. I get to kind of indicate what direction I'm going and just walk the other way. So yeah, it's just a lot of experience on utilising the Shroud and players' expectations. Dodging away.
Yeah, great.
Vision. Karma does find some time in the top side, just about chucking out this tower.
Oh, avoiding the knockup.
Just away from the Searing Charge here, does find this tower.
Fast feet.
Exchange.
Rooted. Bye-bye, buddy. Bye-bye.
And a couple of more grass procs for those lo-fi lovers out there. One just going to walk his way into his jungle, make sure he's not going to get punished for being maybe on weak side, or if there's additional players. Maybe he's going to walk a little bit further down, as Drake seems to be spawning in 30 seconds. Most of the ults available. Taking a quick look at the summoners. No real TP available apart from Morn and Array, who looks to be already first to the play anyway.
How's the missing combo? Sad to see, but it can happen. It's one of those things that you think will never happen to you, but it's hard sometimes because the W, you click it and it looks like it's about to go, and
Yeah.
as well as it also having a faster cooldown on the Q than the W, so it's hard to judge sometimes.
Yeah, I've definitely scuffed a couple of engages, maybe killed someone, not by getting a knock up or by knocking someone back. It happens, of course. If now I'm saying it's to the best of us, and things happening to the best of us seems to be happening to Zypher at the moment as he's going out clearing some vision.
Yeah,
What he thought was his jungle is in fact just a pillar.
Matt's
Easy
just
mistake to
having
make.
way better vision here. Look at the vision score as well. I mean, it just proves that they've done bits around the map. They've been practicing. They've done perfect vision setup, ready for Baron, and it rewards them with the karma.
Yeah, and without the numbers being available to them, Yar are going to have to give up the dragon and then give up their attempts on that mid lane tower as well as they're able to rotate members from the dragon up. Control is able to secure that Ocean Drake. I believe, yep, it's another Mountain Salt. We're going to be making good use of this one again. If they're able to secure our numbers, looking at those members between Leona and Anorn, that's a lot of scaling, and onto Trundle as well with the plated steel caps again.
Now the real
Mountain
question
Salt for them would be
is:
super
does the Varus go low doms? Does he do it? Because, in my opinion, it should be next item. I could be wrong, but I think it's worth the rush in this situation. Again,
you have
tanks.
attack speed already with Kraken, you have it with Berserkers, and you have it with Lethal Tempo. I don't feel like you need a second attack speed item, or at least not a second. As you say, you want to be doing damage before you start doing a lot of attacks that do nothing.
Harry waiting in the bush for this. Is he gonna get caught out? He has flash here.
Yes, well, Flash with the Chains of Corruption is going to catch Trundle between Chains of Corruption and the tower. Harry going in, as you say, all propped here for Aurelia, going to use that move speed.
Perfect.
And that was a lot of damage there from 50%. I wasn't quite expecting that. Making sure to use that Q first before the ult, because of course you can't use it during traveling anymore. Good play from Harry there to make sure that the aren't losing out too much across the board, keeping them just about in tow with that gold lead.
I mean, one shot on Aurelia from, what was that, 45% HP? Yep, seems a balanced champ to me. Ah, god, mid laners, you need a buff to your items, definitely.
They keep changing Akali, and she keeps getting better, it seems. Less skill, more damage. That tends to be the philosophy of League of Legends at the moment. Bit of a shame, but still all the same well played for Harry.
And look at how aggressive he's playing. He's playing as if he doesn't have the Dark Seal, and that's something that you wouldn't normally see in these sorts of games. He's playing like he can win every trade he takes, and so far it's come out positive for him, and it's working very well. And every time he's always just able to get out and keep those stacks alive, and that is the big thing at the end of the day. Yeah, I do know this is going on.
Be able to do. Yeah, I do know this is going on, as you say.
I think they're going to give it.
Opting for the red one instead.
He's waiting at the bush again.
Something else here. Going to get the initial trade here onto Aurelia. Does land the flawless jet this time. Going to put the shroud to dodge away from that. Herald looks to be burning down to 3k here. As Yara caught out, trying to walk into the river. Here's the Ornhorn on top of the from Seraphine. Just going to find Zins out and absolutely delete him before he can get onto any of the backline. Ornn flashing in here to get the real power. Onto Varus is going to be cleaned up as well. Just about. You have to think, there it is. There's a grass proc double kill for Ornn. Not quite the triple kill as Leona picks up that one. It's the tanks getting the gold, but you don't hate it when that's 3 kills, a Herald and the tower as well. Oh, sorry, Herald picked up by Zypher here, cleaning up on the back of the attention.
I mean, lucky that he was able to get the Herald back, but at this point you're going to lose two mid towers, I would think, and yeah, bad play in the end. I think the Seraphine just was able to get those ultis across them. Harry going in for this.
I don't think he has quite the ult available, so he's not going to be able to maybe find what he wants with the Aurelia. Instead, they're going to have to concede 2 towers in the mid lane.
I wonder if he's going to head back to his bush and become the bush boy that I know he can be. Just sitting in there the whole game, just waiting for anyone just step out of it, just step into my land. Why don't you? Picking up
That's a good strategy. If hide on bush is a well-recognized name, you have to understand that hiding on a bush is probably a good idea.
He's just picking up the stopwatch now, just really opting into this protection. Ooh, the magic pen item as well. Very well thought through item pathing here. Just really able to allow him to get through the magic resist. We're already seeing him getting picked up here. You know, you've got the Merc treads, you've got the Ornn building the no
magic mantle.
That's the one. Christ,
that's the sod.
Couldn't think of it off the top of my head. Don't worry, I've got Brett here.
That's right. I've scuffed many more. I do my best to keep up with the item names and whatever. I do now remember that Lockheed does build out of ages. Don't worry about it. But yeah, the no magic metal being picked up by
Oh
Valanth.
no, no. Obviously, I think the Varus has gone Rage Bait. No, he needs low doms. If anyone's got a Madden on friends list, type in all caps to him. Low doms, please, please. He needs it. He needs it, please. I know he's on a delay, 3 minutes, but 3 minutes time, I want to see him start to build low doms, at least, please.
Well, it seems now that Gwinsu's is the item of choice with the Rage Blade building into, I'm pretty sure Gwinsu's exclusively.
Yeah, it is just Gwinsu's. Straight away it converts crit chance into flat AD. Somewhat useful, but not as useful as being able to damage through the armor that you can already see coming out across the board.
Yeah, and that armor's only going to get bigger as this Mountain Drake looks like it's going to go down uncontested Aurelia in the vicinity as well. Instead, Yard looking to get their priority on Baron.
But they're not gonna try and blind this. But maybe a bit too safe here. I think.
Looks like they're looking for this mid-tower step, but they have 4 members already on the way. Akali's just out of range, and there's a Seraphine ult straight onto the Varus as well. He's just going to get straight up walked on by a Trundle. Opting not to flash away from that one. Xin Zhao going to have to try and get through them to get out, but he's not going to find any opportunity to do so. Karma being caught on the backside by her rival and Nemesis. Ornn just going to trade a couple of grasps and a couple of bits of CC. The Ornhorn's going to come in to try and secure this one. They think it might be a Baron, but the flash is just a little short of the Ram, and he's going to get absolutely rambunctious into the river there. And that's a Baron looking very likely for the side of 752.
Yeah, that's twice the Zin's walked up against this. The Seraphine. The Seraphine just ults through the Zin, and the Zin just thinks that he can block it with ultimate, but the trick to Zin is you can still CC him, he just doesn't take the damage from the CC. So with the Seraphine ult, he just extends the range, he can't catch out the Varus on the backside. And overall, I think the Zin both times could have just flashed the Seraphine ult, and maybe they would have got away with a better fight at the end of the day.
Yeah, you have to think, like, maybe not stepping into the river trying to contest for that tower too soon when you already see 3 members and you know they're on that dragon.
Yeah, if you're gonna go
it's fine to try and get some of this standing gold, but I don't know. You have the Herald seemingly unused. I'm not sure what the kind of player consensus was there. It seemed a little desperate or a little bit shallow of a thought there to try and get through.
I don't think it's worth using the Herald on that tower straight away, but like if you're gonna do that, you're gonna have to sack the Drake for the Herald to get at least 2 towers there. I mean, they could have pressured the tower instead of getting the vision instead, because you knew they were going to be a Drake. You know where they're going to be. They're quite clearly playing for these Drakes in both games. So, and now the Herald amounts to nothing. I mean,
it was stolen in the first place, so it's not really a loss. It's just a shame, a bit of a wasted opportunity. Like a headbutt there on a pillar. You can't knock up the pillar, sadly, but the pillar can knock up you. Xin Zhao going to have to concede his jungle, instead look for some wave farm, Baron that wave farm.
Yeah, we're sitting on about an 8k deficit here for Yarn. I mean, it's not the end of the day. They do have a comp that will work quite well into late game, but for that to happen, you have to catch up on this XP, and I think maybe even dropping a mid inhib here might not be too bad for you, because you can catch up the XP from that, but I think that the Mountain Soul is going to be coming up very soon, and that's going to be probably maybe the end of the game.
Yeah, it's a bit of the same story, but here's a flash headbutt onto 3, finding their engage you wanted this time. The Rams comes out as well. There's some of the chains, but the damage is in here. Alistair's just going to get dropped here by Seraphine and the other members sieging onto this tower. You're playing into Baron minions as well. Carly going to get knocked up. Tower going to get killed second into this fight. Seraphine ult finds no one here. Going to clean up the Xin Zhao. He survives for a little bit, but with 5 members inside of the ring, well, the ref's going to ring the ding ding, and that's Xin Zhao out of the fight here. Karma arrives to this fight as well, but well, it's not really a fight. It's just a slaughter. The genocide, maybe.
Back in. Harry's just gone
from Akali's going to look for something. He's going to get exhaust. Going to have to zonize that one out. It looks like it's going to be CC straight on the other side. Here's the Zenith Blade. Here's the start. Here's the knockup. Here's the pillar. Here's another member as the Aurelia TP's back in. Instead, they're going to find their focus here onto Karma. Alistair's going to find his way into the wave here, but he's just going to get cleaned up. Akali dashing, dipping, ducking, diving, dodging, but he's going to find his first death in the end. Triple kill for an Aurelia, 2 towers plus an inhibitor for 752, and a 2-0 GG's WP over Yar.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I think that there's no reason to force that engage on the Alistair. I think you can quite easily just sack a couple of waves there and not really need to go to that point where you're flash engaging and you're trying to force something and you're only knocking back a tank into your team. If you were able to knock back maybe the Seraphine, you might be able to get something, but even then, you're talking about the bare minimum, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's much better just to sack the inhib there, try and regroup, take the XP, and then maybe convert that into playing for Elder a bit later.
Yeah, of course, the counter argument is that maybe if you concede too much and that Godly gets too big, you don't feel like you can come back. I don't hate the idea of if you think that you have an opportunity to win a fight here with that engage, to take it. Um, it feels like no matter which situation you're in, it's a bit of a lose lose. It just depends on which one you, which kind of losing you prefer, right?
Yeah, I mean, I personally I'm not afraid to turtle in a competitive game and just take what I can, and not be too greedy. But overall, I'm quite happy with how ER played overall. I think that the first game it was just a draft difference. I think this one going in, they had quite a good look early on, and it was just a matter of the Seraphine ults coming up big, and I think that's more on Maths Academy playing it better with
Yeah.
the ultis than Yar playing it bad. I think that the Akali couldn't really do much in the late game because she was stuck on the side lane match near earlier. Yeah, she was trading kills with them, but the rest of your team's just like fighting with against a Seraphine ult, and it's quite hard to get in on that side.
Yeah, definitely well played by 752. We were somewhat concerned, or at least I was, about their composition coming into this game, but out of their lanes, they didn't find themselves coming too far behind. They were able to keep up with you, as you say, it was even, it's a bit well played. But as soon as it came to the jungle, 752, kind of like last game, they just found themselves as just an absolute unit, put up a pillar. We're going for this target, and if an Alistair's ever extended with that ult, or if Varus is caught out on the backside, or if Zinzal's a little too far, it doesn't matter how many shields or cloaks you've got, you only have your own peel, really, if all the other members have to retreat, because there's just more of us. We have a numbers advantage. We have now a vision advantage, and that gives us an objective advantage. And that's what 752 are adding up to run away with.
Yeah, I mean they put a lot of emphasis on this Trundle pick, right? We saw them blind pick it both games. This
Yeah.
time, first pick round. Last time it was their first pick, but it was into, I believe, had we already picked? We'd already picked someone, right? But they were on the second round of picks. So this Trundle pick must be a pocket pick of this guy, right? And quite clearly, it's showing up big in 5v5s. The pillar's emphasis on being able to disturb team fights and really destroy tankier members. I mean, the Alistair pick into him it's sort of scary because the Alistair just ults, and then all of a sudden the Trundle just ults the Alistair and gets
Yeah,
like
with the substitute gate, yeah.
gets a ridiculous number of sums. I think personally I would have rather just chuck the Karma bot, play the lethality bot lane, get a different top laner in, maybe go for a bit more of a someone who can. You had the counter picks, you could have countered the Ornn, really gone for top lane matchup there.
We saw the Gnar before as well. I don't think the Gnar was taken away from memory, so there's opportunity for Gnar to see play there as well. It did also bring that engage that maybe the side was lacking. So
Yeah, I mean, Na would have been very good into Ornn, right? You can poke him out, and then you can disturb his ult, and yeah, it's a great team fighting tool.
yeah,
And you can always just go press. You can always just go the on hit build and be able to pressure Ornn out of lane every time. And I think I think Yard just needs to work on some better draft picks. I think their strats were okay, but they were just getting caught out by a few unlucky things, and I don't think they were expecting this Seraphine flex to the bot side, or even uh, some of the picks that we've seen today. I mean, how many times have they gone against the Ziggs bot lane in this tournament? I don't think any.
no, I can't imagine so either. I don't think Rocket played it. Having a look at their match histories there. Um,
And
so yeah,
I think if they're
sorry,
gonna
mate.
if they're gonna play the full AD comp in the first game, I think they need to change the top laners to match with it. Maybe go for an AP heavy top side. Maybe go with the Gwen. Maybe go with the maybe even take like a Sylas top side or something else, something a bit different. Maybe go something that can carry you. Maybe a cannon, something like that. Because at the end of the day, you've drafted all AD, and then you chucked a CC heavy top laner in. Yeah, the CC is great, but if they're CC'd, what damage do you bring to kill them?
Yeah, especially if there's 4 plated steel caps. It doesn't matter how much AD you have. That auto attack damage is going to get reduced regardless.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I do think that Harry's building this time around much better. He went for the void staff on the second time. As you can see, it was definitely needed. You see
Yeah,
you see a couple of Merc treads. Pretty much, he's the only one with real AP damage here that needs it. The CC the CC passive of it isn't really gonna shine through, except from on maybe a Karma route or the Varus ult. So I
yeah.
think it was just to stop the Sakali from being able to get this lead that he had. So him taking the time to build the magic pen, definitely a good idea. But it was a shame that they weren't able to convert this into a win. And I think going forwards, I think they can learn a lot from these games. Watch them back. Maybe watch the cast back if they feel like it. Give the channel a follow. Maybe subscribe. Watch it back a few times.
Of
But yeah,
course.
I think there's a lot that can be learned from these games, and I think the leads that they had at points in certain lanes could have been converted a lot better.
Yeah, I think that's just the kind of trick, right? The games, they seemed kind of decisive, but it felt obviously the initial gap, at least in early game, kind of was the most decisive point. So maybe just a bit of refining, maybe a different pick that gives you that advantage. Instead, in those fights, maybe a bit more attention on the map to stop yourself from getting caught out. Something just fine tuning some of these little mistakes, and this series could have gone maybe the full distance or in your favor instead. So
Yeah, I think it was a bit unlucky at this game as well that we didn't get to see Zin and Dekali start with flashes.
yeah.
They're trying to get in.
Oh, of course, yeah.
They're trying to get in the long sword to start off with this clear really helped him be able to get to that mid lane fight. I would have loved to see the Zin with flash. I think he could have converted it into a double kill
Yeah,
early on.
yeah, probably.
And it probably would have changed the game around. I think you got to cover for your lane. You got to cover for your jungle if you're going to do that ward, because it's a well-known ward nowadays in 5v5s. People are looking for someone going for that ward, and they will punish it, and that's what happened this game. You had the Trundle there, the Aurelia, and the Leona there, just ready to stop that ward going down.
So yeah, in the end, just a little couple of margins, but of course these margins are something we can learn from. I'm pretty sure Team Yar can still make top cut. It just means they're most likely now going to get third in the regular season at the least. There's opportunity for them to beat out the other members, and of course these other teams can lose to any of the other teams in the division as well. So somber note for Yar, but of course it's something definitely if we want to succeed in playoffs, taking a few losses is not something we're afraid of. So fair play to 752. Some great games to cast. Definitely a higher level than the last ones we got to cast from Valanth. I don't think we'll be getting an interview. I haven't heard anything of that.
No, we won't. I've
So
just
we'll just
I've
let
just checked. Yeah.
the art team settle safe. So yeah, unless there's anything happening in chat that I'm not seeing, we'll probably be
No,
closing this one off.
I don't think so. I think I'm definitely looking forward to getting another. Looking forward to next week where we get another game.
Mm.
I'm not too sure who it's against off the top of my head. I'll have a check now. Uh,
It might be our bye week.
it is our bye week. It is a
Okay,
bye
so
week.
yeah,
So you won't see us next week. Maybe we'll cast some scrims or something just for fun. I don't know. But
yeah.
but yeah, very good games. Unlucky for you. Uh, maybe just need some work on a few things, but overall, great games all around.
Yeah, exactly. That's some great games, some great plays as well, but mostly great team play, and that's what I like to see. If you'd like to see some more of that, not next week, but the week after, in a fortnight's time, you'll see us back here. Maybe next week if we can find something else to cast. Instead, might be some CS:GO. I know they play on Thursday, so keep your eyes peeled on the EsportsWales channel. Do make sure to check out all of this stuff below if you're interested. I've been Brett Britannia Wilson. This has been Gizmo. This has been EsportsWales. Thanks for joining us to see our home team just narrowly miss out, at least in the early game. So thank you for watching. We'll see you
Thank
guys
you.
soon.